Hey, good morning, Michelle. I think we're ready to go whenever you are.
Perfect. Excuse my voice, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday and happy February, Black History Month. It was nice to see some of you in San Diego last week at the Workforce Development Institute. And as director, we ask that you continue to put your name and organization in the chat. So I'll pass it to Matt Bogosian for some updates, and I think we will be having a roundtable today. Matt, the floor is yours.
Great, Michelle. Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. Yes, like Michelle said, this is February 3rd, 2025. And this is our national 30-minute weekly call, AMCC, every Monday, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain, and 8:30 Pacific time. I'm Matt Bogosian, and we're the nation's manufacturing community of practice. And wow, what a whirlwind week. Like Michelle said, this is a roundtable discussion. And so we want to hear from you. And for those in the AMCC network who've been around for a while, bringing your siloed perspective or the perspective from your silo into the ecosystem discussion is a critical part of our AMCC participation. So we do this as much as we can, mixed in with presentations like we had last week from Gretchen Moore from Women in Manufacturing, a national organization trying to enable regions around the country to help attack the workforce issue with all of the people in our community, especially in their case, women. So anyway, we need everybody to participate in this, open source work that we're doing. I mean, me, all of us. We need to engage. I mean, yes, nation's not going to improve itself. So, like I said in the AMCC update, that goes out every week. So if you're new, that AMCC update also goes out every week. It kind of goes in part and parcel with the 30-minute national call. I do my little intro here, like Michelle was saying, on some updates or whatever. But in this, it's a roundtable call. I'm gonna, ask you to chime in, and update all of us from your part of the ecosystem. I mean, the minimum route is like Michelle was saying, put your name, affiliation in the chat. I mean, adding your email shows you're willing to, engage for collective impact. So this is a team sport, and that's how we add value. That's how we have been. I mean, we have been adding value for 10 years. So and it's only 30 minutes, right? So it's not a one-shot deal. Like, you can do this, occasionally from one week to the next. And sometimes, we have calls that are super busy, and I'm calling on people or whatever. You can drop info and updates into the chat also, right? That's a great way to quickly, efficiently communicate. So yeah, like I said, we sometimes have these short presentations, and we need more presentations on deck. There are several that we're incubating right now, but we need more. So please give us your ideas. Recommend to us a boss or a colleague from some important part of the ecosystem, which can add value, that needs sharing. I mean, here's a question for feedback. So check it out. So lots been happening on the tariff front, right? So like, who should come on a Monday call, and share their insights, like on implications for our regional manufacturers and their ecosystem of support. I mean, for those that are new, like we have this. David, can you pull up the 3-pillar framework that we've co-created with all of you over the last years? We use this 3-pillar framework to help regional leaders assess their manufacturing ecosystem and how they can improve it. And once that comes up, you'll see in the middle there, the middle pillar there, we call this the big 6. Yeah, look at number 5 there, right? Check it out. Trade and international investment. Like, does your regional manufacturing ecosystem have sufficient insight on trade implications? Like, we've been doing these AMCC roadshows around the country, and Like, I'm underwhelmed by the attention that trade issues gets from the stuff that I hear. It's probably on us for not raising it, more forcefully or whatever. But this is a forum where we could bring in somebody that could help us all, right? Understand the issue and add value from our perch in the ecosystem. So yeah, thanks for doing that, David. You know, um, another topic, of course, is well, let me stop there and ask. Just let's stop there. And I don't know, I'm not tracking the chat here. If anybody's got any ideas on who we ought to bring into this, let us know.
Well, Matt, to Linda
Please.
Larson from Utah. Last week was head spinning for manufacturers, right? The freeze and then the unfreeze by OMB on federal programs, and then now the reduction in the federal workforce and the immigration implications, because manufacturing does hire a lot of immigrants and refugees. I don't know, maybe we could have a discussion about what people are experiencing out there.
Yeah, that was Talinda Larson. So she's for many years been a leader from Utah manufacturing, and she's on our board of advisors. We almost had, as Talinda, we almost had a special meeting on this, before the rescission of the OMB memo. So yeah, that's a good point. Getting feedback on all these implications is something that we got to put in the toolbox of, or not the toolbox, but the to-do box of something that we should do. We can talk about it more here for sure. Yeah, Buckley, you're raising your hand. No, okay. Other thoughts, Larry?
Yeah, I agree with what Linda is saying, but there's another aspect. The other side of that thing is what are the contingencies we plan for and how do we address those would be very useful. Because obviously we're dealing with a ball in play. And yeah. I don't think the administration really has a specific plan in mind. It sounds like it's react. And it has tremendous implications for us as well in terms of how we run our businesses, frankly. So
yeah, and thanks,
I would
Larry.
have an action plan with that, Matt.
Yeah, no, thanks, Larry. And folks, when you do raise your hand and chime in or whatever, so Larry's with a nonprofit group that works to bring folks that have autism into the manufacturing space because they add a lot of value as key employees. Yeah. So other thought. Okay, let me take a step back also and give folks an opportunity. If you're new or want to reintroduce yourself, just raise your hand and say, Audra Ladd. See, I can just call on you. Audra, who are you? Like, what are you doing here?
Hey everybody, I'm Audra Ladd. I'm a co-director at the Urban Manufacturing Alliance. We're a nonprofit that supports manufacturing of all sizes, but we're best known for small and mid-sized manufacturing support. And our Tanu, my colleague and co-director Tanu Kumar, is also on this call. She runs our workforce projects. I lead our capital projects. And so for me, one thing top of mind is really about how our intermediaries that support manufacturers are being affected, particularly MEPs. And I dropped that in the chat. Happy to do an offline coordination of responses. But thank you.
Nice modeling, Audra. That was perfect. Yes. Ilana, welcome.
Thank you, Matt. This is my first meeting, so great to join all of you. My name is Ilana Prus, and I run Recast City. We are a firm that works nationally with communities to fix the ecosystem around small-scale manufacturing businesses, both business development as well as real estate and capital and all those different pieces. And I think one of the things that I'm seeing from folks we work with very quickly is a drop in purchases. They're already seeing people hold on to their money because everyone's scared, and they're worried about where their supply chain products are coming from immediately.
That's great, Ilana. Did you, I'm not looking at it. Did you put your email into chat and link and all that? Yeah, cool.
I did.
Great. Welcome. And it's great to have you on board here. Other folks, raise hand, introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. Hi, Casey. Welcome.
I raised my real hand, not my
That's all right. That works. Yeah.
I don't usually use Zoom. I'm a Teams person, so I'm like, where where do I do that? Hey, I'm calling in from UW Milwaukee's Connected Systems Institute. This is also my first call, so I just wanted to listen for a little bit before speaking. The Connected Systems Institute started around 2018. It's an advanced manufacturing institute that seeks to bring industry and education together, so academia and industry working together to help with build the manufacturing workforce and to accelerate the economic development of Southeast Wisconsin, as well as tech transfer. What I wanted to bring to this call also is a great opportunity that's starting here at UWM, and that is that the first Microsoft AI Co-Innovation Lab that's focused on manufacturing and that is located at a place of higher education is coming here to CSI, the Connected Systems Institute. And so the opportunities that presents is Microsoft will be bringing 4 engineers, an engineering program manager, and the WEDC and Buckley Brinkman from the the WCMP are also providing a project manager to help folks who bring their projects to the Co-Innovation Lab back to and implement them into their manufacturing facilities. So what this means is at no cost to manufacturers, they will get to work with experts in AI to ideate and prototype an AI solution, and then we'll have the assistance of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, as well as Buckley Brinkman's, the MEPs, to bring that project back and make sure that it's stood up to help manufacturers. So I think an idea for a call for a presentation would be the executive director of CSI and the project lab manager from the AI Co-Innovation Lab that's coming to CSI. When I say coming, we are already working on, we're working with industry to identify projects for the lab, and they're already in the funnel. But the lab itself will be opening here at CSI this summer, late June, early July. So just thinking that's a good opportunity for a presentation. Even though it's going to be here in Wisconsin, I want to say that the lab is available to anyone across the nation.
Oh, that's awesome, Casey. Yeah. So yes, for sure. I mean, I have a whole bunch of questions. I'm sure other people do, in terms of, the types of manufacturers you guys are thinking this is going to apply to at the early stages, for benefits of AI. There's a lot of good engagement to understand that and start to tee up folks to take advantage of this new technology, like any new technologies, and begs the question in my mind about this new Manufacturing USA Institute focused on AI and how, if at all, your effort, if it's not already, could be plugged into that as a way of distributing, key new technologies like AI around the country. To your point about, how does it get distributed quickly, right? I mean, we're kind of in this race, and we got to move fast and smartly. So, thank you so much, and welcome, Casey. It's great to have you on board here. Yeah.
Hey,
So
Matt.
can you send us a note, by the way, Casey, on that so that we're connected and we can set up some time?
I will.
Yeah.
I will do
Thank
that.
you.
Sure, thank
Go
you.
ahead, David. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, on the topic, in the weekly update we had last week, we shared a new training course that MXD, one of the Manufacturing USA Institutes, has released. And Lisa, I see you're on the call right now. Would you want to speak a little bit about that work that you've done, if you're available? Hi, Lisa, are you there?
Oh, I am. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. Were you talking to me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
didn't
I
hear you.
just wanted to ask about your new AI training module.
So I'm not the project manager for that, but we do have a new course. It's our data analyzer and our data annotator with AI that is now up and running on our virtual training system at MXD. And so it is free. You can access it from our website, or if you'd like, I can put the link in the chat and you can definitely take a look at it. It's got a prototype and some other things, but it does have the availability to work with some of those new AI tools and things. Sorry, I'm not as technical as the project manager, but yeah, yeah, it's a new tool and some things that we're working on with our capital program.
Oh, that's
Great,
great.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, David, for calling that out. It's a good example of kind of the best practices we need to bring forward for sure. Okay, other introductions, reintroductions. What do we have here? And to Linda, just to follow back to your thing, you know, I'm making a note about, you know, having maybe a special meeting around what's happening, but also trade. So a couple of good ideas that are coming out of this meeting already. And the follow-up we're going to have with Casey on what she was describing for AI that could apply across the board. Glenn Tobiasen, hello and welcome. Can you introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yes, hello, Glenn Tobias, and this is the second time I've been with you guys. Thank you from company InnoWayCon. We can bring manufacturing quite interestingly using waste as a feedstock. And one of the wastes right now that we can take is also the waste coming from the LA fires, not to make a bad thing or cost anything for the counties and cities there that are have huge funds that they have to give out, but to take that waste and manufacture nanomaterials, mostly carbons, graphite and graphene out of them, and do it at no cost to the municipalities, counties, and cities that are hit by that. But manufacture anywhere in the US, but we're able to do this right now in LA and in the fire areas.
Great, Glenn. Thanks for that. Totally interesting. Yeah, and I presume you dropped something in the chat about those opportunities. That'd be great.
I will put my email in
Thank
there
you.
in a sec.
Thank you. Yeah, Eldridge Thompson, welcome. Yeah. Oh, can't hear you.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm Eldridge Thompson. I'm with the Greater Memphis Chamber. And what I look for, especially when attending these calls, is to keep myself informed on things not only happening in the Memphis area, but things that are happening all over the world. The role I play for the Greater Memphis Chamber is my position as an existing business consultant. So we want to be the provider of resources for manufacturing on the economic development side. And there are a lot of different conversations that are expressed on this call each week that go hand in hand with the things that we have to address here in Memphis at the Greater Memphis Chamber. On the manufacturing side, there's a big focus on pipeline as far as providing employees for the manufacturers in today's environment. And the conversation with AI is definitely not something that's new to any of us. And organically, when we're talking to manufacturers about improvement, that pipeline conversations continue to come up. So we're working diligently to try to provide those options and resources to help in all areas of manufacturing.
That's awesome, Eldridge. Appreciate you expressing that. I mean, and highlighting economic development. I mean, we had this Manufacturing Momentum Summit at our website. If you go, there's a Manufacturing Momentum Summit, and we had, you know, a lot of economic development discussion. In fact, we have a kind of an ongoing collaboration with the International Economic Development Council and Nathan Oley, who leads that. We're having a discussion with NAM, for example, that weaves in economic development. So it is part and parcel. It's like they're in Memphis. I'm sure, you're seeing it. I mean, you're obviously seeing it. You're ahead of the game here. Almost every region, depends on the cornerstone of American manufacturing, right? Making smarter products that solve problems and improve the human condition. So that's awesome. Look at Hannah modeling the dropping stuff into chat. That's awesome, Hannah. Thank you and welcome from New York. Hannah, is that where you are?
Yep, we're in upstate New York. Some people call it central New York, but we're the Mohawk Valley region.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about what you do. Yeah.
Sure. So our office is here. We're an economic development organization. So that covers quite literally everything from a brownfield developer summit that's coming up in April to thriving communities, to clean energy communities, to various projects kind of as our municipalities need. So comp planning, outreach meetings. But what I work on with the MVED office is broadband infrastructure and digital equity. So both things at the same time. So that's done with a mixture of New York State Connect All office funding, also NTIA, BEAD, and a whole bunch of other sources. So I'm here to just learn a bit more about workforce generally, manufacturing ecosystem, because that really is the heart of our region in the Mohawk Valley, and just curious to kind of poke in and see what's been going on.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Let's get in contact because we do these AMCC roadshows, Hannah, and we call them co-created because it's basically working with stakeholders in the region to take advantage of existing convenings or whatever. Maybe we'll add some to help those regions strengthen their ecosystem of support for manufacturers. So we have a link on the website that describes it all. They could drop it in the chat, but if you wouldn't mind reaching out to me and David, and we can have a side discussion about incubating ideas on co-creating a roadshow in New York. And this goes out to everyone. As you know, we've been, trying to be as aggressive as we can to invite, like Eldridge, we'd like to go to Memphis. That's come up in the past. There's a long history we don't have time to discuss about how long this group has been working for 10 years. And Memphis actually was, early on involved in that quite forcefully. So like many regions around the country. But I'll spare you the history lesson on that one. Yeah, right now. So thanks, Hannah, for that. Yes. Yeah, Jeanette. Yeah.
Hello there. And I'm so glad you said Memphis. That was just a great segue. Eldridge works with us here at the Greater Memphis Chamber, and I am no stranger to these calls. They're very helpful. I try to join every Monday. It's a great resource for me. But I was just going to say, hey, we'd love to host you guys in Memphis. We have a really good, robust group of advanced manufacturers that join us monthly. We do a meeting every month. We do one per quarter in person and the others are virtual. So we always have a good group, but we would love for you guys to, to bring the roadshow to Memphis. We'll show you a really, really, really good time and show you the assets of our city.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. So David, let's connect there. And like with anyone that wants to do that, we're super psyched about it. And it's about just co-creating it, right? Making it work for you guys and strengthening your ecosystem. We have, we have 5 minutes left. Other folks that want to chime in, introduce themselves, raise issues that we ought to be addressing, right? Like I said at the outset, nation's not going to fix itself, right? We've got to focus on strengthening the cornerstone and continue to get after it. I mean, we're making some good progress in spots, right? Tony, yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So I was with Michelle last week at the WDI conference, sitting in a room with a ton of leadership at educational programs who are working on filling the talent pipeline and had students all dropping their classes because they're worried about their funding. So I think looking at how do we support expanding the American talent pipeline with all of the changes that we currently have taking place, removing DEIA policies, removing funding. So I think having somebody that can help educational programs maneuver that, or verbiage that we can get out to them so they can continue doing the work that they're trying to do, which is serving our entire country to build a talented and amazing pipeline for our manufacturing workforce.
That's awesome, Tony. Thanks for raising that and staying on it, and bringing that forward as you have, and now it's exacerbated, right? Because of the threat to that pipeline. Thank you. Other introductions. Doug Merrill, see you there. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah. Tell folks who you are and where you
Sure.
are in the ecosystem. Yeah.
So I'm the Regional Innovation Officer for the University of Vermont. My primary role is leading the Vermont Gallium Nitride Tech Hub, which is a consortium that the University of Vermont, Global Foundries, and the state of Vermont have developed to create a ecosystem in this region that is conducive to developers and designers and manufacturers of high power and high frequency microelectronics, really leveraging the development work Global Foundries has done in the local fab here in 200 millimeter GaN on silicon wafers. We got some great news in January that we were one of the 6 tech hubs funded in this round of tech hub funding. As many of you probably have experienced, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster with the announcements coming out of DC. That is that funding going to come? Is it not going to come? But our program officers in Washington are working. We continue to communicate with them, and as we stand now, we're just putting our heads down and assuming that this is going to work out, and we'll try to ignore the noise coming out of the communications channels and get this thing implemented. So
that's great to hear.
We still have
awesome, Doug. Go ahead.
We still have to nail down our funding letter, which is expected by the end of March. And at that point, we'll be able to begin implementing this program in the second quarter of this year. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah, we're excited for you. And as always, if there's anything that we can do to add value to that journey, the Tech Hub program was modeled after this network's IMCP initiative going back about a decade. So that's really a feather in the cap for all of you folks that have been doing the good hard work of the bottom up organizing to strengthen manufacturing ecosystems and regions around key technologies and critical manufacturing industries. I wish these calls could go on and on forever. There's so many things that we could highlight, you guys. But so stay with the AMCC update. Like for example, we have a meeting later on today on this manufacturing community ecosystem metrics tool and playbook. David, you can drop that link. We have the 1.0 version of the playbook. This is a playbook you guys can use, right? Check it out. And ultimately, we hope it morphs into a usable tool where you can assess in your own region your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, of threat around the big 6, those 6 elements around what a thriving regional manufacturing ecosystem looks like. That came from the National Economic Council, 10, 12 years ago, that kind of framing. And that's been the working hypothesis. Well, we're trying to put that into a AI-infused tool. And we thought, well, to get this thing rolling, let's create a 1.0 version of the playbook that, could give the vision thing in a very concise. We'd love you guys to use it, first of all, but also give us feedback on it. Just say, hey, we looked at this in terms of what we're doing. Like Hannah, you're in, Mohawk Valley, right? You're like, okay, right? Like, does this inform what you're doing? If it's lame and it doesn't speak to you, Hannah, tell us that. If it's, how does this weave with what you guys are already doing? Maybe what you guys are doing in the Mohawk Valley can add value to it, right? And make it better, right? That's how this whole network that's how, evidence works, right? You test the proposition, right? And it gets better and better over time. This is that forum and network to do that. So thanks in advance for that. We're at the top of the hour. See, I run on too. That's one of the drags here of our time thing here. So anyway, let me turn it back to you to Michelle to close it out and go for it. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. So everyone, we look forward to seeing you all next Monday and wish everyone a great week and hope you enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. Take care.
Thanks all.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.